So as you all know, one of the first things that Trump did when he got back in the White House is he pardoned all of the January Sixers. Now, the reason why that is particularly depraved is because we were told by both Trump himself and many people in his orbit that, like, he's gonna pardon some of them, but he's gonna pardon the ones who deserve it. All the violent ones are not going to get pardoned. This is what they were leading people to believe. And to be fair, it depended on his mood. Sometimes he probably did say he was going to pardon all of them, but certainly from Susie Wiles and many others around him, and him at times, the message was, just the ones who deserve to be pardoned, right? Well, he pardoned over 1,000, literally all of them, and that includes about 450 who committed violent crimes. There were over 100 officers who were assaulted on that day. So when I say he is soft on violent criminals, I mean it. I mean it. You're talking about people, some of them with long rap sheets, serious psychological issues, and he pardoned them. Didn't think twice about it. I mean, his first day in office, first couple days, were the worst ever because the executive orders he signed were absolutely disastrous. These pardons were just unhinged. Well, guess what? As we've slowly learned over time, with a drip, drip, drip of stories, exactly what we expected to happen is now happening with these people. So look at this. This is from Law and Crime. Quote, millions of people hated me. January 6th defendant kills woman in drunken highway crash, but avoids murder conviction. So this is what these low-life, degenerate scum are up to after Trump pardoned them. A jury has convicted a January 6th defendant for killing a 35-year-old woman in a drunken wrong-way crash on an Illinois highway, but acquitted him of the most serious charge. Shane Jason Woods, 47, was previously convicted of assaulting a press photographer and police at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th before receiving a pardon from President Trump. Now, again, as I said, to pardon this guy is inexcusable. It's inexcusable. He assaulted a press photographer and police, and Trump pardoned him. And now he killed somebody going the wrong way in a drunken rampage on the highway. On Wednesday, the Illinois jury found Woods guilty of reckless homicide, aggravated driving under the influence, and aggravated fleeing and eluding, but cleared him of the first-degree murder charge that could have sent him to prison for life. Instead, he faces between 3 and 14 years in prison when he's sentenced, the Chicago Sun-Times reported. Nobody gets away with more crimes than a literal member of the Trump regime or somebody pardoned by the Trump regime. So he could get as little as 3 years, even though he assaulted an officer, assaulted a photographer, and killed a woman while drunkenly driving the wrong way on a highway. So he'll spend, a total of less than 4 years in prison for these hideous crimes? Woods apparently upset after an argument and then facing a decade in prison for his role in the January 6th riot, got behind the wheel on November 8th, 2022 after leaving a bar. He then sped away from a traffic stop before crashing head-on into the car driven by Lauren Wegner, killing her. The now convicted felon took the stand on his own defense on Wednesday, according to a courtroom report from the Sun-Times. He spoke of how his involvement in the Capitol riot weighed on him and how he was national news. Quote, millions and millions of people hated me, he reportedly testified. Wood said that as his marriage fell apart in 2019 and 2020, he began to closely follow politics. Asked if he was an ardent supporter of Trump, he reportedly said he was an ardent supporter of Americans. Wow. It's always the fucking, miserable divorced dads, huh? Wegner's parents wore her ashes in necklaces around their necks and held them as the verdict was read, per the Sun-Times. Her father told the newspaper afterward that he and his wife were not totally happy with the verdict, but we can't argue with the verdict. Wood's attorneys had argued for the lesser verdict, and his supporters quietly applauded in approval when the verdict was read. On Tuesday, a police officer reportedly testified that when he pulled a speeding Woods over, the defendant told him he wanted to end it. Quote, it takes a big fucking man to say what I'm about to say, the officer reportedly recalled Wood saying. I'm going to kill myself. Yeah, this guy, it's great that this guy is getting away with all these crimes, getting off scot-free. I'm sure that when he gets out, he won't cause more immense problems for everybody. A former cop whose relative was dating Woods at the time saw him and also stopped. He could be heard on dash cam footage telling another officer that Woods was involved in the Capitol deal. But Woods fled from the traffic stop and sped north down the southbound lanes of I-55. Wegner happened to be driving south on the highway and collided head-on with Woods' pickup truck. Jesus Christ. A fiery ball erupted after impact, instantly killing Wegner and breaking nearly every bone in her body, prosecutors reportedly said. Investigators had to identify her through her nail polish. Oh. Lauren died because she was in the wrong place at the wrong time, prosecutor Derek Dion reportedly said during his opening statement, and she couldn't get out of the way. According to a police report, Woods' blood alcohol level was 1.177 after the crash, more than twice the legal limit in Illinois. Jurors also heard from a woman who was in another car at the time of the crash and was hit in the eye by flying glass, calling it the worst pain ever. Prosecutors argued Woods knew there was a strong probability his actions could cause harm or death, which is what led to the murder charge. But his defense attorneys noted that police originally arrested Woods for reckless homicide and not murder. Court records showed that he faced 6 charges, including first-degree murder, aggravated driving under the influence, and aggravated fleeing and eluding a police officer. That's great. The trooper identified what may have been Woods' mindset before the fatal crash. Quote, "It should be noted through the course of the investigation, I learned that Woods was a defendant in the January 6, 2021 Capitol U.S. riots and was anticipating a sentence which may have been motive for the intentional traffic crash." That's great. That's great. Really, really quality people here. I never want to hear another fucking word from the right in my life about being tough on crime or about law and order. I don't want to hear a fucking word. I really don't. Because first of all, Trump himself is a criminal, charged with 91 crimes, 34 times convicted felon in the state of New York, first convicted felon ever elected to president in this country. He got away with countless crimes, the fake electors slate, January 6th, trying to steal the election. And all these people, I mean, he's buddy-buddy with Netanyahu, who's literally modern-day Hitler in front of our eyes. All the Republican leaders are nothing but a gaggle of war criminals and cretins and degenerates. And these are the people who they're freeing. By the way, before I wrap this segment up, I just got to remind you, here's another story that we got. Houston man pardoned by Trump, arrested on child sex charge. Andrew Takey received a 6-year sentence for assaulting officers on January 6th. He was arrested Thursday on an outstanding charge of soliciting a minor. So, wow, go figure. When you have over 400 violent criminals involved with January 6th, there were over 100 assaults of police officers, and Trump pardons every single one of them. Well, turns out when they get out there in the real world, they go to diddle kids and they go and kill other people. Truly incredible, man. Truly incredible. And this shit doesn't stick to them. You're hearing about it on this show. That these people that Trump directly pardoned, look at the havoc they are causing on regular folks all across this country. You'll hear about it here. You're not going to fucking hear about it anywhere else. Nobody else is going to be talking about this, and that's a crime. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.